You're listening to the Play Like a Girl podcast, episode number 10.
You play ball like a girl!
I'm Nikki B with Play Like a Girl, made just for female athletes.
I can be a girl in a man's game, a diamond in the dirt.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Play Like a Girl podcast. I'm your host, Nikki B. Here at Play Like a Girl, we aim to encourage more confidence in young women who play sports and give them the necessary tools and advice to have an amazing career in sports and beyond. If you are a young woman who plays sports and lives an active lifestyle, or you know one of these young women, I am so excited you are here. Each week, we will either bring you a guest in the sports world or have a roundtable discussion of the many taboo and important topics in the world of female sports. Are you with me? Let's change the game. All right, Plag listeners, I'm so excited for today's episode because I have some current high school student athletes in the studio with me. We have Kelsey Hall, Ava Hand, and Sophie Jacquez, who are all softball players and D1 commits. So today we are going to talk about their sports experience and the process of getting recruited to signing and what they're most looking forward to when they go off to college. So thanks so much, ladies, for being here with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so let's just do some quick introductions, get to know yous. So I want to know from you guys 3 things. Where are you going to school? Where are you committed to? What's your favorite sport to watch other than softball? And what is your favorite post-game meal? Kelsey, do you want to start?
Sure. I'm committed to Fresno State University. I'm a senior currently at Bella Vista High School. What sport did I play?
Favorite sport
Okay.
that you watch other than softball?
I really like to watch college football just because it's so intense and lively.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite post-game meal is probably sushi.
Love sushi. Ava, you want to go?
Sure. I am committed to UC Santa Barbara, and I'm a junior at Elk Grove High School. My favorite outside sport, probably baseball, just because I can kind of relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the
Favorite
meal?
post-game meal?
Definitely chicken nuggets.
Ooh.
I'm committed to the University of Utah, and I'm a junior at Pleasant Grove High School right now. And my favorite sport to watch outside of softball is probably pro baseball, like Ava, because you can relate to it, and just it's so much like softball. And my post-game meal is probably spaghetti.
Ooh, such good post-game meals. I love it. My favorite post-game meal is probably In-N-Out.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So
It's a good one. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's dive in further. So what sports did you ladies play growing up, if you played any sports other than softball, and when did you narrow it down to softball?
Growing up, I played soccer, basketball, all those cliche kind of sports that you play when you were younger. But then when I got into travel ball 10U, my coaches strongly suggested I focused in on softball, so that's when I stopped playing other sports.
Gotcha.
I played soccer and basketball too, and I just wasn't really athletic like that. So I definitely narrowed it down. Probably when I started playing when I was 8. That's pretty much I stuck with softball.
Yeah,
So
that's so funny you say that. It was the same thing for me. I played soccer and basketball, and my dad was like, you're afraid of the ball.
yeah.
You cannot play these sports because you're literally afraid of the ball. Let's get you into golf. I'm like, okay.
Sounds good.
Sophie, what about you?
When I was little, I played soccer. I tried basketball, and in 6th grade, I tried volleyball, but I didn't really like any of them besides softball. And then I started getting to travel ball after rec ball, and then I just kept with softball because I just loved it. I don't know.
Awesome. And what age were you both of you, what age were you guys when you stuck to softball?
10.
10?
Yeah, same.
10?
10.
Oh, so you guys were all about the same age, 8, 9, 10? Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so going from travel ball to high school, that's a big change, right? When you're in high school, I think playing travel ball, there's differences between playing travel ball and then playing for your high school team. So what's the best part about being a student athlete?
I think once you get into high school ball, I'm sure they can agree, we definitely start to appreciate our sport more so, and I think because we have been the type of athletes where we're constantly surrounded by other athletes just like us that have the same motivation. Obviously high school ball, it has a whole diverse group, And so obviously we aren't all at the top caliber of play. So then when we come back from our high school teams, when we're frustrated, when we're like, why aren't they performing? Why aren't they competing? Like, we want to always compete. So I think the best part is just definitely like being able to appreciate the caliber that we've been lucky enough to put ourselves in.
Totally.
That is true. Like, I agree with you so much. I can't even like find words to say, because like it's just too different. It feels like two different sports.
Because we definitely like
Totally.
start competitive so early, and so that's just what we're used to. And and you kind of see the same players, like, oh, I remember playing her. We always used to play each other when we were younger, but then in high school you're like, you play softball? So like most of the time they're like, no, I'm just trying it. But yeah, so it's definitely a whole nother level of appreciation for our sport.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, what was the question again?
The best part about being a student athlete.
I feel like the best part is like being able to do something other than just school, and like being able to just, I don't know. I don't really like, I don't know.
I would say it's like having another like outlet, I guess, like an extracurricular, and it's kind of almost like another group of friends too, right? Like, because I know, I know for me, I had a different group of friends. Mine kind of sometimes intermingle, but yeah, you definitely have a different group of friends in school and then in your sport. But then also too, I love that you guys brought up the difference between the travel team and then the actual high school sport, because I know for me, I didn't have a team outside because it's just an individual sport, but yeah, it was just the competition was way more fierce and way more competitive when you're outside of high school, and high school brings in kind of just some girls that just want to have fun and aren't too serious, but so it's definitely nice to be play on the same caliber as other people for sure. So what are some other things that are not so great about being a student athlete? Do you find that it's hard to juggle being, school, sport, social life, sleep?
Yeah.
All of it?
I feel like social life is hard to, like, it's hard to have a social life also with softball, because, like, during high school, like, you have to do, like, all of your homework, and you have to go to school for, like, 7 hours, and then you have to go to work out and stay in shape, and then you also have to go practice and, like, also stay good and be consistent with, and, like, hit for softball so you don't, like, go in and sucking in a game, and also go home and do homework. I start homework at, like, 10 o'clock at night, like, but usually, like, it's not been too bad because I'm just taking, like, regular classes, but it's just hard to balance it all and social life.
Totally. Oh my gosh, you start homework at 10 o'clock at night. Yes. When do you sleep?
I know. Never.
Yeah, and you probably wake up at how early to like work out or go to school?
I usually wake up at like 7.
Yeah, I wake up at like 6 because she lives close, but I live like 40 minutes from my school with traffic.
So you're probably getting like 5-6 hours of sleep every night.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah.
The hardest thing probably, like, she's right about juggling with social life and all that, but for me it's definitely school, because like I know that I do struggle with school, so I do need like extra time. So like I go to school, go to practice, go to my workout, whatever, and then I go home and like literally I just study for so long. Just like it's definitely a hard task. But
totally.
And also, like, I missed, like, a bunch of, like, dances for, like, high school and, like, middle school. You miss a lot of, like, things like that to go travel for softball. But you kind of get used to it. You kind of, like, oh, that's my life. Like, softball is my life. Like, I have to go and fly to LA, so I have to miss homecoming, or I have to miss all of these dances and stuff. And, like, you kind of just sacrifice, like, those social things.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I remember that completely. Like I had to miss like homecoming games, some dances.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely things that you have to miss, but I think it's worth it in the end. I mean, you guys are all
definitely worth it.
You guys are all committed to amazing schools, which is so awesome, and you build memories with your sport too. Like those are memories that a lot of other kids don't get the pleasure of having. So, but at the same time, sometimes it does suck in the moment having to miss some of those high school activities too.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things to where you can either look at it as, oh, it sucks, we always get to miss this, we always get to miss that. But yeah, it does. It's disappointing when all your friends are all hanging out and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's because like we love our sport that we do. We appreciate it. Luckily for me, like my parents, they've been nothing but supportive, and they understand that like I go to workouts because I want to. I love seeing the progression and all this stuff. So it's not, I don't necessarily see it as something that kind of sucks missing, because also it prepares us for like our future, because when we're older we have to be able to balance, do I want to go hang out with my friends but I have work tomorrow,
Right.
So it's kind of like our job, but it's a job that we get to choose. And I don't know.
That's a great outlook to have, because it's so true. Like, I think the best part about being a student athlete is all the skills that you're learning now, because you guys are going to be, I mean, if you don't follow your sport professionally, I mean, you guys are just going to be the best employees in the future, because you have all of these skills and qualities about you that other people may not have. So, and I love, you mentioned working out. These girls, by the way, are badasses, if I can say that, in the gym. I've worked out with, or seen you guys work out before, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I also want to talk about another like good thing about being a student athlete. What do you think about like the team? Because we kind of talked about you have different friend groups, and how do you feel about your experience with like your team? Like, what's that camaraderie like, and how much I don't know, do you appreciate that, or does that impact you?
I really like it because we all kind of have the same goal for, like, we all want to get somewhere in life, be something in life, and we all have the same like motivation and drive to like reach our goal. And like, I just think that's like so cool, just because like you said earlier, like you have a group at school and then you have a group of girls on your team. It's just like, school is just like you see them every day, but like softball is like those are your best friends. Like you're with them all the time. You're going to LA, you're going to Florida, wherever you go, like just to play the sport you love. And like, I just find that.
I feel like that I relate more to my softball like teammates better, because we all have like the same goal to like get to college and do really good in softball, and we all love softball, and like you come together to like win and work hard and stuff. And like, I love hanging out with my teammates. Like, after like games and after like a long day, like we just go out and eat and just like laugh and just like have fun, and that is like the best memories. I just love hanging out with all of them. So.
Those are my favorite. There was this one diner that my high school team, every time back from a tournament, we would all go to this one diner, and like that, like those are my favorite memories. Like, not even on the golf course, but like having, you know, burgers at this one diner, and like you said, just laughing and like just spending that time together. Like, those are the fun memories. And like you said, like, you guys are driven. Like, it's not just like, oh, you go to school and then you do whatever you want after school. Like, you have a game plan, you have a goal in life, and you are like set out to do something, and it's fun to share that and motivate each other. So that's really cool. So let's talk about now your training. I know I touched a little bit on your workouts, but talk to me about your guys' practice schedule, your workouts, what you do to get in shape and to be like on your A game for softball, and then also your nutrition, because that's a big part of it too.
Well, so for us, I know me personally, my team is based down more south in Stockton. So for softball, it's a lot of it is individualized work. Like, it's your responsibility. If you want to play, if you want to be where you want to be, then you have to be hitting at home. You have to go out pitch to a friend. You have to do all those things. So, but what we all do, how we're all kind of here together, is we work out at a training center, Results Physical Therapy and Training, BBR, Buddy Bear Richie.
Love that.
Shout out to Richie.
Shout out Richie. We love you. But that's just something that has been huge for me. I go in there 4 days a week, and they go in 2, but it's something that it's such an intense environment to where we're all wanting to get better. We work so we get there, we all do our 5:30 session. We start with our warm-up, whatever, and then we do 45 minutes of agility work, working on our verts, our med ball work, our like just anything you can think of to make sure that we're agile athletes. And then the next 45 minutes we go into is our weightlifting, and we do a lot of like Olympic lifts, power cleans, front squats, all that stuff. And then we obviously do our arm care and stuff like that. So it's a really good environment for us all, because we're around different athletes. It isn't just softball or baseball. There's lacrosse in there. There was a BMX rider in there. A pro tennis player. And it's so cool because Richie works with so many different athletes at different calibers. So like, we all luckily can like push each other. So
yeah, and you girls are in there working out with the boys, keeping up with them.
Like, it's definitely a class that started with Elk Grove baseball, and then I came in. I was Richie's. I like to hold it with pride. I was his first female athlete, and I just went in there, and I was never scared. I was always like, okay, like, you're not going to be my partner, but I can probably lift more than you.
I
So
love that.
it's definitely something that drives us, and it keeps us focused.
Yeah, what's it like working out with the boys?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah, it's also
Gives me
like
more of a push.
exactly. Yeah, they're also like strong, and you're just like, oh, I gotta be
Right.
like, better, and yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, you guys are in there doing like Olympic weightlifting. Like I remember I was watching you guys, and I told Luke, I was like, I need them on my podcast. Like they are badasses, and I need them on. But yeah, I think that's really cool. And I mean, you guys grind, not just. And I didn't realize for your practice. So for your travel ball team, is that what you guys are doing individually? Your practice?
Yeah, as you get older, you like start to not practice more with your like travel ball team because the areas are so like spread out. Like my team's out of the Bay Area, and that's like an hour 15 minutes away, and we do like one practice a week. But it's more
we do it usually on the weekends.
Yeah, it's more individual, and like you kind of have to realize that you have to work out and like practice on your own, and so like you have to do that like every day. And
yeah. So who do you guys get to like practice with you? Because I know you said you have to like throw and hit and catch to people. Like, do you do that in a net by yourself? Do you do that with like a parent or a friend? Who do you get? Like, who do you recruit to practice with you?
For me, I'm a pitcher, so like I definitely need someone like to always catch me.
Right.
So my dad always helps me. Like when
That's
he
awesome.
can come home early from work, like he'll catch me. We'll go out in front. Like it's pretty cool. And then
Or whenever I'm over.
yeah, or whenever she's over.
I remember one time I came home from a practice in Stockton because Stockton's like, it goes like Elk Grove, Stockton from where I am, whatever. And I go and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to stop by Ava's house. And then her dad's over here making me such nice tacos. Like, he just comes in, he's like, Kelsey, you want some food? I'm like, okay. And then he's like, oh, well, yeah, you're going to catch Ava. I'm like, okay. Eating my taco, like, okay. But yeah, that's what's also nice about the whole teammate thing. And like, we form such good friendships. Like, these girls are literally my sisters, and like, we're like 35 an hour from each other, and it's still just like, we can come to this one common goal, and like us not practicing with our team every day, it really like shows like the respect that we have for each other, because we are all such great athletes, and we put in the work separately to be able to come together, which I really
That's
admire.
super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Usually, like, my dad usually helps me, too. And, like, as you were saying, like, who helps you when you work out. But shout out to my dad, you know.
Aww.
He's always been there and, like,
him.
play catch with and, like, hit me ground balls and just hit into the net. And usually, like, if it gets dark early, then we just hit in the net in, like, my garage. But if, like, it's, like, light outside, then we go to the park. And you can, like, see where the ball goes. It's, like, better to go out to the park. But, yeah, my dad's always kind of been my, like, hitting coach. And I went to the hitting coach one time, but, like, my dad's always just been there, and it's just easier for him to coach me than anybody else. So
I love that. We did an episode a couple episodes ago, and I brought my dad in and just talked about, because I had swing instructors, but ultimately, like, my dad was my main swing instructor. But it's a fun, special bond that you get to share with them, right? Like, it's something that, you know, you'll be able to cherish forever. But were your dads ever your, like, actual coaches, like team coaches or anything?
Oh, and like
Yeah,
rec
for
ball.
sure, rec
ball.
But then my dad always says, now you know more about the sport than I do.
Yeah,
I can't
I
really really coach you on that. But it's just like always like going down to LA, going to Florida, all the different memories we make. Like me and my dad, we became, and my mom, of course. I love you, Mom.
Love you too, moms.
Love you.
You can't forget the moms.
Yeah. We just make so many fun memories, like driving down, going to food places we think would be good, but you get food poisoning. It's just,
Oh my gosh.
but we love that, right?
Yeah, love it.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's just all the memories that just come with our sport. that we
Totally.
love.
Yeah, it's a cool bond. It's a special bond, I think, between a dad and a daughter sharing sports. And I find that it's like pretty common between all sports. So I think that's really cool. What about nutrition? Do you guys ever, like, is there a certain nutrition regimen that you follow? Whether it's just like, even like if it's just posted or no, is it that just like not even a thought right now?
Well, like when we get to college, it's going to be like,
For
they're
sure.
going to be super strict on that. And like, they kind of provide us food and stuff. But like now, like we all definitely like to keep like on the healthier side, but obviously, sorry
happen
guys,
sometimes.
it doesn't happen all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
We work out a lot. It's okay to get that cheeseburger
Oh,
sometimes,
yes.
but like, I don't know, for me personally, I know this kind of sounds very like, but just because of like all the workouts that we do and stuff, I don't want to put a bunch of garbage into mine, because I like to be like, wow, like look in the mirror and be like, I'm like, it's actually doing something. Just like all the like 20 pieces of chocolate like isn't gonna like
Exactly.
that. So we cut it down to 10.
No, I remember that too. Well, and here's the thing. When you're in high school, I remember I could eat anything I wanted and like nothing would happen. So enjoy that while now, ladies, like I swear. But I do remember like I would be healthy for the most part, but then there would be times I would go get like Jack in the Box before practice or like donuts or like, you know, me and my one friend Lauren, who we've had on the podcast, her and I used to do that together. We were like each other's bad influences, but
our energy drinks.
Yeah,
Red Bull, we're gonna have to cut it down. We're gonna have to cut it down.
I mean, sometimes when you get only like 5 to 6 hours of sleep every night,
it's necessary.
It's necessary for sure. Okay, so let's talk about college, because you said that college, they're probably gonna have a nutrition plan or at least some guidelines for you to follow and everything. But let's first talk about the recruiting process. Because I'm sure it's changed since I was in school. So when did you begin searching, and who reaches out to who first? And I know there was a rule change recently, so you can touch on that too if you'd like.
Before the rule change, the coaches would kind of reach out to us, and like I remember like I was in like 8th grade and we were just like in tournaments, and I don't know if showcases were a thing then, but they were, but like we weren't really going to them. But
well, they couldn't, like, we could reach out to them, and like if we called them, we could be like, hi coach, just letting you know I'm gonna call you at this time, and then if they answer they can talk to you, but they can't call you back if they don't answer. But that was until your junior year that you could kind of get away with that, but the recruiting, like the rule just changed to where they can't do anything like that until your junior year.
Zero communication now.
Because the recruiting in softball, I don't know if it's been like this in all sports, it was ridiculous. We have 6th graders committing to Florida.
Right, I was going to say, don't they have commits for like graduating year 20, 30?
It was, it's crazy.
I think, Kelsey, when did you commit?
Okay, so the story. So starting with like 14U at one point was when we definitely like started our recruiting process, and that's just like when it all changes. So it was our first season of our 14U season. Like it was the first of all that, and I was just like becoming to be a freshman. And that's when, but before that, I would go to all the University of Oregon camps. I would always go to every single one. I'd be there, I'd reach out, put all my eggs in that basket. And then eventually it was our last tournament of the fall. I performed really well at a tournament, and then so a bunch of these schools were reaching out, Alabama, Oklahoma, Washington. They're like, why, like, is she not reaching out to us? And then so Oregon kind of saw that, and then that night, me and Ava and our other really good friend, we were at the arcade, and it was, and my parents were blowing my phone up, my coach was blowing my phone up. They're like, you need to get back to the hotel, because we were down in LA, and they're like, Oregon's gonna offer you. So my freshman year, I committed to University of Oregon, and then I, like this last January of my junior year, I decommitted from there. It's not a super intense story. Like, I would always used to kind of like stray from like being honest about it. It just wasn't like, it was kind of like a mutual thing. We didn't see us like going along each other's paths successfully. I didn't have the best relationship with the coaches. With Pac-12 schools versus, I mean, some could be different. Like top 3 in the nation is completely different than not a necessarily lower D1, but not Pac-12 school, different relationships. So we didn't talk as much, and it just something for me is that I'm very glad that I chose Fresno State, because it's such a homely based environment. Like, we care so much about our families there, and I didn't get that homey vibe and stuff like that. So then I decommitted from there, and then I kind of went in a 3-day little rut, like crawled in my bed for like it was hard, because for softball, it's one of those things where like you're pushed for your college, you're pushed for this, and once you do it and you're known for that, like it became almost like a part of my identity. That's like how people knew me, and it was like, what am I gonna do now? Like, what's gonna happen? But luckily, like on the team I was on, I had an amazing coach, and she really like encouraged me. If this is something you want to do, then you can do it. No one else is more capable than you. So then I went back to work, started working twice as hard at results, and then eventually during the high school ball season, I found myself absolutely in love with Fresno. So I committed there in July, and I've been in love ever since.
Well, congrats. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
so awesome for you realizing all of this now because,
Yeah.
it's totally an identity crisis. I think that's the hard thing we face as athletes. Like, when you have something taken away from you, especially like, also too, when athletes stop playing their sport, like once they graduate, whether they stop playing after high school or college, it's totally like an identity thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's so awesome that you realize, like you guys weren't seeing eye to eye, and it's okay. It's okay to make that change, and it's for the better, right?
Yeah, it's really hard because of the fact of that. It's just such a society thing that like you're worried about like what other people are going to say if you don't continue to play your sport, if you don't do this, because we are known as athletes,
Right.
like we're known as those really good softball players, but just because that's the case doesn't mean that if you don't love it, then what is it for?
Right.
Like this is like our journeys because we choose them, because we love them, and like I don't know.
100%. I love that. That's so cool. What about you, ladies? How was your college recruiting process? How did that all happen for you?
Okay, I'll go first.
Because you both are juniors and you're a senior, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry. So, like 8th grade, freshman year, sophomore year, I started like calling coaches and like coaches started reaching out to my coach for me to call them, and we'd make like a bunch of calls and stuff like that. And they wanted me to come visit, and like they were colleges that I wasn't really that interested in, but like they were always like there. And I went to an on-deck camp, and I remember Ole Miss asked me what my name was, and so like I was super excited, and I was on the way home from it was in Colorado, so I was on the way home from Colorado, and at the airport, and my coach was like, you have to call the Ole Miss coach right now, like right, and I was so nervous, like I had to call them in the airport, and it was crazy. I was just so nervous, and I was like, Dad, I don't want to do this. But yeah, I had to do it, and like it's kind of things that you have to like do. You're just like so nervous. You have to like talk to them. It's like the coach. It's like crazy. And so yeah, Ole Miss was super interested, and so I ended up like visiting there, and yeah, so I'm trying to remember Utah also. So I actually tore my ACL. And so I had surgery, so I was off for like a whole year.
Oh, wow.
And so I came back, and it was like my first game back, and Utah was out like looking at me and my other teammate, and they were taking videos and stuff, and I was like super nervous. It was like warm-ups, and they were taking like videos of us like doing ground balls, and I was super nervous, and I was like, I was like so nervous. And then I say that like one more time. Oh my gosh.
That's okay. I remember those days.
Yeah,
it's nerve-wracking. Talking to coaches on the phone, or then knowing that they're out watching you at tournaments. You're like, oh.
Exactly. Like you just like are playing, you just look up, and there's like so many coaches. And it's just crazy.
You have to tell yourself, it's just parents with fan gear.
Exactly. It's all good.
Exactly. And then I ended up making a call with Utah and making like a visit to go down there. And I ended up loving it, and it was like such a homey feeling. I loved the coaches and just everything about it, and just I didn't really think that I was gonna like Utah because I'd never really been there, but it was beautiful there.
Utah's beautiful.
So, yeah, it was so pretty, and so I ended up committing November of my sophomore year, so like a year ago.
Well, congrats.
But thank you. Yeah, so it's been like a year.
Wait, can I ask her a question?
Yeah,
Is that allowed?
of course. Oh my gosh.
Like
yeah.
I've never like asked about like your whole like ACL thing. Like how hard was that? Like coming back from that and like being able like.
Yeah, it was definitely so hard. That's actually how I found out about Richie and like the whole class because. Yeah, so I played Powder Puff, and which she had a game last night. So.
Oh, you did?
We won.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big body.
That's one of the things I had to miss because of golf. I never could play in the Powder Puff game because we always had a tournament.
This is my first year playing.
Yep.
Yeah. But I played freshman year. I don't really know why, looking back at it now. You'd think like you do it senior year, but I did it, and I like had just like tweaked my knee, and it kind of hurt, and I like fell to the ground because like it like hurt really bad. So I got up and like tried to run. And my knee kind of like collapsed, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? So like I played on it for like a month for softball, and it was like throbbing and stuff.
Oh my
God. And I actually went to the Oregon camp, and I like was wearing KT tape and stuff, and I was still trying to get recruited then. And I remember I tried to throw on the run. If you know what that is, you like throw off your other foot, and it was the knee that was bad, and my knee just like collapsed, and I was like,
at the
it was
Oregon
just
camp?
in so much pain. Yeah. So I had to go off and. So then I got home and got an MRI, and the ACL wasn't even there. It was like totally like gone.
So when you first initially injured it, did you tear your ACL?
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
But
then
you
I
still
think
played
it got
on it?
worse. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, then we finally went to the doctors. Yeah, and they were like, you could do a bunch of rehab and you could get stronger, your legs stronger, or you could do surgery. And I was like, Dad, I'm definitely doing rehab. I'm not doing surgery. Like, that's so scary. I'm not doing it. And my dad was like, no, you have to do surgery. Like, it's going to be better for you in the long run and stuff. So I ended up getting the surgery in November of my freshman year. And, yeah, it was a 9-month recovery. So that was really hard for me. But, yeah, I just had to do a bunch of rehab, and like at first, like I didn't, my whole calf muscle was like gone because I hadn't been walking on my leg, and so
it's huge now.
Yeah, BBR. But yeah, I had to do 9 months of rehab, and it was even 10 months because I wasn't fully like ready to go in yet, but I did rehab with results, and I did that. It's in Rancho Marietta where I live, and then I went to the main one, and then learned about the training and with Richie and stuff. And it's all
this sounds like such a commercial for Result.
I
swear this isn't sponsored.
We gave shout out to Result in the past 2 podcasts, so it's all good. I love them. But how was that mentally for you? Because I know like you had to like, come back from that, like you know, I mean you had to do your rehab and everything, but like mentally too as an athlete, like that takes a toll.
It was so hard. Like I had been playing softball for like I don't even know, like,
forever.
14, forever.
like
my
every
whole
weekend.
life. Yeah, every weekend, my whole life. And I would go to LA with all my team and stuff because my dad was like the assistant coach. So I would go and like watch them and stuff. But it was hard to sit on the sidelines and like watch them and stuff. But yeah, after 10 months, it's hard to think about it now because it was like 2 years ago. But when I finally got back, it was like so nice and just getting back into it. And I feel like I'm so much stronger and so much better now. So I'm kind of thankful for the whole. And it was I'm stronger mentally and
that's
physically and stuff.
Amazing.
The thing is like I'm writing an essay in my English class right now.
Oh, are you?
Yes. Student before athlete. But I was writing about like just like accomplishments through like setbacks and failures, and like with me with Oregon, that was my like setback, and like your ACL, and like just like such success can come out of such hardship, and like
exactly.
It like really like makes you appreciate it
100%.
so much more than like you do before, and it's like in the moment you're like, oh my gosh, like what's happening, but then like we look back and it's like it sucked then, but it's our journey that gets us to where we are now, and we probably would not be the same people without it.
Well, that quote, like, you can't succeed until you fail, is so true. Like, as cliche as it is, it's so
everything
true.
happens for a reason. That's, like, the one thing that, like, I've always, like, lived by, like, ever since with the Oregon thing is, and because then after that, all the Oregon coaches, they all left anyways. So, like, after they decommitted me, it's fine. They all left. Right. So, like, I don't know if I would have, like, liked what would have happened, and I don't know. And all I know is that I'm where I need to be now.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Love that.
You're up, A.
Yeah.
Jeez. My recruiting process, I was on a team when I was 12 who, I played on LTG Lions.
Relatable.
That's
where we met.
Yeah, that's where we met. Maybe once we hit 14s, that's when, like, everything really started. Our coach said, you send 50 emails or you don't play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
that's what I literally remember.
Like 30.
Yeah, I remember sitting in his 50. House because like we would practice at their house because they had a softball field at their house. They'd be like, I remember them literally telling us, appreciate, like, and it was in 12U, appreciate this last season because this starting 14s, that's when like it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Serious.
Like when it gets real.
So, you know, I would send my 50 emails out, and to be honest, like, I was just always like, I wonder where I'm gonna go. Yeah. Like, I don't really have a set school. My first ever camp was Sac State, and I liked it, but I just like I knew I kind of wanted to be further away from home. My second camp was actually Santa Barbara, and like something just clicked right there. Like, as soon as I stepped on the field, I was like, this feels like my home. Aww. I love this school. I didn't really get a lot of attention just because I'm very like short for a pitcher. I'm only like 5'4", and like usually pitchers are 6 foot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like very tall.
That's really tall.
Dramatic.
It's true. I've seen.
You know, hecka 6 feet tall.
We've
Pitchers.
all been down to LA, right?
Right? Yeah, they actually are really tall.
And so, like, I never really got the, like, attention, but, like, I was always just like, okay, you know, my time will come. I committed to Santa Barbara my freshman to sophomore year. And I went on my unofficial visit, like, before, and they offered me, like, a couple weeks after I went on that. And, like, I've just always loved Santa Barbara, and, like, I never was really interested in another school. And
How could you not love Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I know. It's so pretty.
Yes.
But I remember the first time I ever performed in front of Santa Barbara. I was pitching, and I, like, threw a ball and hit the backstop. It, like, totally missed the glove. And
Why do I
like,
remember
well,
this?
Yeah,
I
I was like,
remember
well,
you freaking out.
There it goes. They're not going to offer me anymore. Like, that was the last chance, but... You know, they came out a couple more times. And then
Several times. They came to almost every tournament.
Yeah,
I remember
and I would
that.
call and I would text her. I would, like, just do everything that I could just to have her keep coming.
Like, come on.
I know, like, just come on, you know? And, you know, I'm really thankful to be, like, where I'm at because, like, just the coaches are so, like, they're so great. Like, and I relate to them so much. And, like, as soon as I met them, it's just, like, I was like, wow, like, I want you to be my coach for college. So
that's amazing.
I actually forgot to mention that I was going to call Utah to commit, and she's like, yeah, just call me whenever, like, even at 3 a.m, like, nobody's ever done it before. And so I got up, I set an alarm, and I called her at 3 a.m, but she didn't answer. So I ended up just going back to bed and calling her the next day. And I was actually at training at Richie's, and I was like, Richie, I have to go, like, call a college coach, so I'll be right back. And so I went and, like, sat down on the sidewalk, and I just called her, and I was like, I'm committing to Utah, and she was so excited. And then I just went back and started working out again. But
it's whatever.
Back to the grind.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So.
How funny. Well, congrats to all of you. These are amazing stories, and it sounds like, you know, it's a good fit for all of you. So I'm, like, so stoked for you guys, because I know for me, like, college is the best 4 years of your life, hands down. Like, it's just an awesome experience. Like, what you're experiencing now, it's going to be like that times 10. So it's definitely going to be more intense. There's going to be more pressure, but at the same time, it's going to be more fun. You're going to make even better memories. So that's really cool. I'm really excited for all of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. What about one thing, too? And first of all, I want to know what positions you guys play, because you're a pitcher. What positions are you guys? And also talk about the pressure, because you guys mentioned that you guys are going to be on TV.
Oh, yeah.
For softball. So talk about, I mean, like, how that's all going to go, if you're nervous for it or if you're excited for it. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I play middle infield, shortstop, second base, like, just infield. I can play outfield too, but mostly I play, like, shortstop, second base. And but to be on TV, I'm actually, like, really nervous, because, like, if you watch college softball, they, like, zoom in on your face, and, like, I'm not ready for that.
I always make faces like this.
Yeah, like, so,
There's all my teammates, they were talking to me, like, this, like, past, like, weekend or so, and I was just, like, playing, like, this is really weird, I guess, but I was just, like, playing, like, with my zipper in the outfield. I play outfield, and I just, like, sing in the outfield, and, like, I was, like...
Every time you did that, I was like, what is she doing?
She would always
turn around and be like, why?
She'd always
like,
hear
she's
me
in her
sing.
own little world.
Like, I don't know, for me, like, when I play softball, like, I've heard this from a lot of, basically every coach I've been, like, when the Fresno coach was recruiting me, they were like, it's like you've had 18 cups of coffee when you're on the field. Like, I am absolutely crazy. I'm loud. Like, it's just
loud.
Even in the weight room, she's like, oh my God, she's like,
like,
even
I'm
when
like,
she's talking on the other side of the room, I can hear her.
Like,
I'm
it's just
like,
it's such an
Kelsey's
outlet for me, and I'm just, like, it's different. Obviously, it's, like, not, like, I'm not going to be on the Pac-12 channel. Fresno has their own, like, channel, and, like, they have their own radio station and stuff like that, but, like, at Fresno, I don't know if you've ever been, but, like, if you go to their softball field, they can fit, I think, like, 5,000 people in their stadium.
Wow.
Like, they fit more, like, than UCLA does on a regular game.
Wow.
Like, because Fresno is such, like, an athletically based environment. So it's really, like, they were telling me that, like, one time the coach, like, he was getting his teeth done at the dentist, and they just played a really bad game. The dentist was like, so what the heck was that? And he was like, can we not talk about this while you have something in my mouth? Like, it's just one of those things that it's such, like, a homely and based environment. So obviously, like, I'm gonna be hecka nervous, but, like, at the same time, it's like, we're there for a reason. Like, you're going to the Pac-12 for a reason. You're going to, I don't know what your conference is. I think is it Big something?
Big West? That's not what's called. I don't know.
Skies, I don't know. You're in something. And
something.
You're in something. Like, we're all, like, going to our places for a reason.
100%.
So, like, we'll get used to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I feel like after you play, you're just like, oh, I just gotta play my game. Like, you just gotta
get that first step back
yeah.
out of the way.
Yeah.
That first fly ball, that first ground ball.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I remember, like, my first shot, my first tournament, I think I, like, duck hooked it into the field, but, you know, it's fine.
It's whatever.
It's fine.
What
It's
it
fine.
is. Once you get it
You gotta
done and
prove
over
yourself.
with, once you get it done and over with, it's all smooth sailing from there. But what are you guys looking most forward to in college?
Okay. I'm just ready for something bigger than me. Like, that's why a lot of people ask me, like, oh, what are you most excited about? Because I'm going to sign next month. So it's like, it's getting real. Like, you never think it's gonna come, but it's literally, I'm like, wait, what? I'm signing next month. But, like, I'm just ready for, like, the challenge. I'm ready for something, because, like, the type of athletes, like, we are, like, in this high school aspect, as we were talking earlier, just, like, being surrounded by the people that, like, aren't necessarily as driven as us. Like, everyone's there. Everyone wants to be there. Everyone wants to play for that national title. Everyone wants to do it. So I'm just ready to, like, push someone else and have them push me. And just, like, they all talk about, like, what happens in their daily life, the 6 a.m. workouts, and you have school, and then you have practice, and then you have homework. If you're lucky, you have sleep. Like,
Exactly.
I'm so ready for the challenge, because it's everything we've been working for as long as we can remember. And the work, once we get there, is it's obviously not done. But it's just, like, I'm ready for, like, the challenge to finally be here.
It's awesome.
That is true. I'm definitely just ready to get away. Like,
Yep.
don't get me wrong. Like, I love Oak Grove, and I love, like, the people that I'm around
Why?
every day. Right. But like, I just, like, I'm really excited just for the experience of college, and, like, just meet new people and be around people.
So
like,
many different experiences.
Yes,
Everyone always
so many.
everyone always says it's the best 4 years of your life. Then can it just be here?
Right.
Yeah, like, I still have a year and a half of school,
Yeah.
and, like, I already, like, I'm just like, I just want to leave. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
want to
too.
go, and, like, I want to be playing. I want to go to school. Like, I just, like, want to be there already. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just, like, the
Want that.
excitement, the thrills. Like, I'm.
And also, it's, like, about finally getting closer to our future,
Yeah.
like, in, like, our, like, the
That one
real
step
world.
closer.
And it's something, because, like, now what we do is we're forced to be there. Like, everyone that we're around, it's like, you didn't choose to go to Bella Vista, you didn't choose to go to Pleasant Grove. You're kind of, by the way, I didn't say this earlier, I go to Bella Vista. Just saying, I didn't say
You
that.
did say that.
No, I didn't. I said I was a senior. Did I say it?
She did say that.
No, I didn't. Thanks, sis. But anyways.
Go ahead.
Anyways, but we're all, like, we choose to be there. Like, everyone commits to their college, like, and so it's just going to be such a different environment. And then we get to choose our classes that we get to be in. Like, as of now, I want to major in kinesiology and then go into strength and conditioning, because honestly, because of results, because of Richie.
Yes.
Me
Like,
too.
And get my
cool.
2-year grad assistant and stuff like that. So hopefully, if I can, maybe I'll come back to results, Richie.
Yeah.
Get that.
Hey.
Or back to hopefully working with a college softball team. So it's just, like, choosing what we get to do.
Yeah.
Is, like, coming.
That's
Yeah,
super
I'm
cool.
so ready for college too. Like she was
Yeah.
saying, I live in, like, a small community, and, like, I'm just so ready to get away. Like,
Yeah.
I've been living there for so long. Like, I know it's, like, I have 2 more years still, but, like, I'm just so ready to move on with my life and, like,
Right.
just, like, be in college and just, like, working hard with and, like, meeting my new teammates and just, like, living in Utah and just, like, it's just gonna be so fun. Like, I just want the college experience to come, but, like, also I need to
Enjoy the
like,
moment.
enjoy
Yeah.
high school.
Everyone
while I'm
always
in
says
it.
that, like,
Yep, I was
You have
just
to
gonna say
enjoy
that.
it.
Yeah.
You have to, like, savor every moment. And I mean, like I said, college is the best 4 years, but enjoy these last few years or last year of high school, because, you know, these are memories that you're never going to get back. These are times that you're never going to get back. And right now it's easier than it's going to be. So definitely, like, savor the easy moments. But yeah, once you're in school, I mean, you have to savor every moment. It goes by so quickly, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but, like, every year that, like, every year you get older, time goes by quicker. I swear. Like, I swear the hourglass, like, gets, like, faster and faster within each turn. So you just have to savor every little moment. Because it's the best, and really, like, take mental snapshots and, like, mental pictures, because it's going to be so much fun. Well, ladies, any final thoughts on anything we talked about today? Any advice that you have for current high school female student athletes?
Well, a couple things I'd say is, first off, like, kind of what we were talking about earlier, like the failure and being nervous in front of our coaches. Like, a big thing in the recruiting process is you always think, like, we have to be perfect. If we don't perform perfectly, like, if we don't always do this right, then they're not going to want us. But that's not the case. I know it's one of those things that you don't necessarily believe it, but if you do the little things and like, if you do fail, that's what they want to see. Like, obviously they want to know, like, your capabilities and all that, but they also want to see how you perform after failure, how you bounce back, how you pick your other teammate up even when you're down, just because it's going to be a team environment for softball specifically. I mean, in other team sports, but there's going to be crying, there's going to be sweat, there's going to be tears, like blood, there's going to be all of that. But like, it's like we were talking about earlier, every hardship, you have to come back with more success. That's something that I'd say. And don't be afraid to reach out. I know some girls that I talk to, because I have had a super crazy recruiting process. People do tend to come to me for advice about theirs. But people get nervous, and they say, I don't know, I don't want to reach out, I don't want to be annoying. Like, no, make sure you make yourself stand out. And the best way you can do that is by being you.
Right.
Like, obviously, I'm someone that I don't want to change for someone, especially a college coach, because I'm not going to put on a show for you for 4 years. I'm going to be myself, and that's what we all need to make sure that we tell each other is be yourself, be willing to reach out, show that you want them just as much as you hope they want you. And there's a fit for everyone. There's just so many things to say. Sorry.
Yeah, keep it going.
There honestly is a fit for everyone. For me, after I decommitted, I was like, I want to play Pac-12. I want to play Pac-12, which for me, I know what I could have. Like, I was getting recruited by those schools again, but the thing is sometimes we got to knock down our ego a little bit. You don't have to go to D1. You don't have to go to SEC. You have to go where, like, what fits best for you. There are JUCOs, junior college, out there. There are D2s. Like, just be optimistic is what I say, and don't let anyone determine what you can do is something I'd say, and keep your grades up.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, after the whole thing, I kept my grades up, so I did get interest from schools that I know that I could have gotten a good degree from.
Right.
I'm sure Soph with her ACL thing, because she kept her grades up. Like, if you fall off, hypothetically speaking, heaven forbid something happen. It's just just appreciate every moment of it. Make sure student is before athlete, and don't be afraid to be you.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's student athlete, not athlete student, right?
Yeah, my coach always says to, like, get your homework done and just everything student before athlete, and like, yeah. But for advice, I would say, I don't know, like, she pretty much touched base on, like, all of it. It's like, you have anything?
Yeah, like, I kind of wanted to add on to what you said about, like, don't let people determine, like, who you want to become. Like, I always grew up, like I said, like, I was always the shorter, on the shorter side of a pitcher. And, like, everyone was like, you know, she won't ever, like, be able to go to a college because, you know, like, she's so short. And, like, I just, like, always, like, I didn't really listen to that. Like, my dad was always pushing me. He was like, okay, like, then prove them wrong. Prove them wrong, Ava. Like, you're better than most of these pitchers out here. And, like, I worked, pardon my language, but I worked my ass off every single day. Like, when I was in 14s, I would pitch every single day with my dad. Like, there would not be... She still does. There would not be a day that, like, I missed. And, like, it was just crazy. My coaches pushed me to be a better pitcher. Right. And, like, that's, like, pretty much, like, all that I've been. I've never really been, like, an infielder, an outfielder. Like, I've just been a pitcher. And, like, I don't know. Like, what you said, just don't let other people determine like who you are, and like that just really stood out to me because I relate to that so much.
No, I love that, and it's so true. You have to be yourself, as hard as it sometimes is, especially right now at the age that you guys are. Like there's so many influences, outside influences that you girls have, and it's like you just have to stick to your guns, and you have to just like really truly believe in who you are and what you can do. And I love that your dad just kept pushing you. That reminds me of my dad, like and it's so cool you know, that you girls are giving this advice at your age, because I think it's something that a lot of girls don't realize until they're older, until they've like kind of gone through it. But like you said, you know, being optimistic and just pushing through and not letting anyone determine what your outcome is going to be, I think is just so important. So that's awesome.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, of course.
Also, something too is enjoy the moment of high school, enjoy the moments leading up to college, even in college. I just speaking from other like college athletes, but don't get caught up in the moment.
Yes.
Don't let the party that everyone's going to distract you. I know we're all human, we all need to live our lives, but at the same time we have bigger goals in life. We have things that we are the athletes that have stuff to lose. Other people that don't necessarily have the goals for themselves like we do, they don't have anything to lose. So surround yourself with the people that you know will make you a better person, whether it's a relationship, your family, friends. Like, let's be honest, relationships can suck. They can be draining. They can be messes. It's tough. But like, the point is, it's just that we can't let that distract us from what's really important, because you can always hear the idea of that, why don't you live in the moment, bruh? Like, come on. Like,
wow, you sound like my ex in high school.
Exactly. You sound like mine too, don't worry. Like, but the point is, it's just like, they all say that we aren't living in the moment now, but we're going to be the ones that are successful. We are going to be the ones that are trying to find a job. We will have a job. We will be successful. We will have what we need to have. So just enjoy your moments, but at the same time, keep your eyes on the prize.
Yeah, I definitely think to that point too, like when I was talking about kind of like peer pressure, like you have to realize like what is it that you truly want. And that's something that I had to realize in high school and in college. Like, you know, do I want to be the best athlete I can be, or do I want to go to a party and maybe get into things that I shouldn't be getting into, or do I, you know, want to be hanging out with the wrong kind of crowd? And there was a lot of times that I didn't do the cool things that, you know, all the other people, like all the other kids did. But in the end, I'm so happy I didn't, because one, I didn't get into trouble because I had too much at risk, right?
Yeah.
Like I loved my sport and I wanted to go off to college. So I knew that I couldn't afford, you know, hanging out with the wrong group of people, or doing, you know, going to that party, or, you know, doing whatever it may be, even like cheating on a test when other kids, and like there would be groups of, you know, kids in class that would be like, oh, it's, you know, let's cheat on a test. And I knew that like that's not something that I wanted to risk, because I didn't want to, you know, lose it all. So really just like figuring out like what means most to you. Is it having fun in the moment and maybe making that bad decision, or is it focusing, keeping your eye on the prize? So
but the thing is, though, in my opinion, is I'm sure this applies to you, it applies to all of us, the reason that we can do that and the reason that we want to do that is because we love our sport. We love playing. Like, it's for some people in our sport and others, I'm sure, it's not necessarily a choice. We are forced to play. We are forced to pitch. We are forced to hit, because a big part of it is our parents. But at the same time, it's one of those things that if you don't love what you are doing, if you don't do this, like, yeah, obviously we all want to get degrees. We all want to make money. But we're living this life because we love it, because it's what makes us happy. So if that isn't what necessarily is making you happy, and you would be like, it's okay to be happier just hanging out with friends. It's okay to be happier getting an actual job, because with us, we're gone every weekend. I'm going to LA this weekend, going to Florida for a weekend, like for a weekend, yes. Not a week.
2 days.
Just 2 days. 2 days. But that makes other people happy, and that doesn't make them less than. It's just a different perspective on life. So if you aren't passionate about what you do, it's okay to not do it, in my opinion, because everyone has their path to true, I know this is kind of cliche, but everyone has their path to true happiness, and everyone has like the right fit for them. So just because it's what's expected doesn't mean you necessarily have to do it. It's
100%. Yes, I think you totally have to follow your passion and do what it is that you want to do. Mic drop.
I'm just like,
But it's so true, and I think that if you follow, like, it's funny that you're saying this, because with every guest that we've had on the show, like, the common theme has been do what you're passionate about, and like you'll never work a day in your life, or do what you're passionate about, and like the money will come. Like, if you follow your love and follow your dream, like, that's when you'll find true happiness, and like you will be okay. You know, rather than, and I think especially in this day and age, I think it's a lot easier to do. You know, back then, like when our parents were growing up, they kind of were taught to do the 9 to 5, get health insurance, do this, do that, but like just follow your passion and do what you know, what your heart wants. And I think like with the work ethic that you learn, I mean, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
There's
a balance, in my opinion, with life. It's just your happiness, your work ethic, and just all, like I said, like always wanting to be better. And I think with this sport, with being a female in sports, it's completely different mentality. And we're like, we've gotten the balance, we've gotten that, like, what we want to do and why we want to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And if I had to give advice on like people who have had injuries, like I would just say that like it's like adversity and you have to overcome it. And I know like for that 10 months that I was off, like I was not very happy because like I wasn't playing the sport that I always had played that made me happy, that I like loved. And like, I mean, it kind of made me who I am though. Like I'm like, I had surgery and like it's, I don't know, like I overcame it and I'm better now. And like I'm stronger now, way stronger now. And like it's definitely like, it was a very positive thing, and I took it as a negative thing in the moment, but it's like, I don't know, I'm losing words, but
no, it's
I'm
good.
Just saying that, like,
it was good.
Spitting fire. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what to say.
No, that's awesome. I think that's really cool. Any other final thoughts that you ladies have? No.
Kind of said it all.
Awesome. Well, final question for you. What does playing like a girl mean to you? Who wants to go first?
Sophie.
I think it means to me to be strong, and I don't know, like I just feel like guys' sports are more like loved on, and like obviously like there's not like pro softball yet, but I'm trying to we should get it there. But I don't know, like girls are so much stronger. Not saying that guys are bad, but I don't know, like I wouldn't change being a girl for anything, because like I don't know, it's just I don't know. We're kind of looked down upon.
Yeah, we talk. Me and Soph literally talk about it almost every time we do med ball stuff. Like we work probably twice as hard as the boys, just because they naturally get it.
Yeah, exactly.
They naturally get that strength, and no matter how hard we try, like let's just face the reality. I know it sucks to say, but like they're just gonna throw that med ball harder. That's just naturally how they're built. Like when we first all started results, Richie would work on us about like our muscles, like us going outwards versus inwards, because that's just how we're built. We're for what we want to do, we're built at a disadvantage. So, I mean, for me personally, just means playing with heart. Like with girls, we always play with heart. We always maybe play with too much heart. We take all our emotions, we leave it all out on the field. And you're right, I wouldn't change that, because if I was in a sport where it wasn't acceptable to be as loud as I could, just play happy and show that I'm vibrant, show that I want to be there, like I couldn't do it. I couldn't be myself without my heart on my sleeve. And that was softball. It allows me to do that. And with not necessarily have to compare male to female, but it's almost like an ego thing. It's like they have to be the strongest just because it's just like clout. But it's just, we do it because we want to be that for ourselves. We don't necessarily do it for as much vanity either. And it's just so like satisfying just being a girl and knowing that we can do it too.
Yeah, and I even feel like, not to look down on baseball, but baseball, like when you're watching it, like it's so quiet. But like if you watch softball, it's so loud.
You're so like you
so
want
fast.
to be there. Like it's so quick. It's so, and we just, like we were saying, it isn't as appreciated, which I really think it should be, because if you see, we leave it out on the field every single play, every single pitch, even if no one's watching, even if we aren't getting paid. millions of dollars. Even though, like,
Exactly.
it's those things, like, in my opinion, with male sports, it's like, I was talking to one of my teammates about it, why I like to watch college sports more than pro sports. It's because there's that drive to, like, that grit. And with pro sports, you're like, I don't care if I strike out, I'm getting $1 million off this at bat. Like, it's just, we have such a drive, and we can never lose that because it is so quick to not be there, not be a thought in anyone's mind. So it's just playing with heart is what consists of for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
To me, it definitely means playing with your mind, because I'm very, like, mental person. I get in my head a lot, and, like, I know, like, guys, like, sometimes they don't, like, they could just be there, they could do whatever. Like, girls, we take things to heart, we we think about things a lot, and we change our mind a lot, and
Overanalyze.
yes,
I'm
and
very analytical.
And it's just, like, to me, playing like a girl is just, like Sophie said, I wouldn't want to change it for the world, because, you know, when I'm on that field, and, like, I look at everyone like I'm the center of attention, I'm a pitcher, like, I just look around and I'm just like,
This is what I want to be.
Yeah.
Where else would I want to be?
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that. I think that's amazing, and it's so true. Playing like a girl means playing for heart, or playing with heart means playing with your mind, and I just think, yeah, like you guys said, like, you're not doing it for money, you're just doing it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why, it means so much, and why we play so fiercely and with so much grit. So, well, thanks so much, ladies. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. All right, everyone. Make sure to share this episode with a friend who you think will enjoy this podcast. I'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts on this episode, so head to iTunes to leave a review. You can also send any questions or topics you'd like us to cover by sending us a DM on Instagram at PlayLikeAGirlMP. We want to know what you want to hear. Before you go, screenshot this episode and tag us at PlayLikeAGirlMP so we know you're listening alongside us. Thank you so much for listening to episode 10 of Play Like a Girl. We hope you come back for more. Once again, I'm Nikki B, and remember to never stop playing like a girl.
You play ball like a girl!
Can be a girl in a man's game, a diamond in the dirt.